Think of the world as a living, breathing body, and the Strait of Hormuz is the main jugular. If Tehran tightens the noose on this 21-mile choke point, the global economy will straight up flatline overnight. Forget the mainstream media headlines. We are talking about a literal powder keg in 2026. Even with all the diplomatic efforts grinding away, right beneath that murky water, a doomsday scenario for the global shipping industry is already locked and loaded. Buckle up, because this hardware packs enough power to drive gas prices in the States to $20 a gallon in the blink of an eye. Let's get into it. Naval mines, the die-hard gatekeepers. Iranian contact mines. These rusty pineapples might look like World War II antiques, but do not let the looks fool you. Back in 1988, a mine costing less than $1,500 almost snapped our billion-dollar USS Samuel B. Roberts destroyer completely in half. Iran only has to drop a few $100 to cause hundreds of millions in damage, an absolutely killer return on investment. With thousands of these stockpiled in their armory, they do not need to be smart. They just lay low and wait for some poor bastard to cross their path. Nafez 2 and Arvand. If contact mines are the dumb grunts, this duo acts as the educated assassins. Kitted out with acoustic and magnetic sensors, they know how to listen and measure a ship's displacement to cherry-pick their targets. They will totally ignore a small fishing boat, but will happily welcome a massive supertanker or an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer with a devastating blast right against the hull. Mayhem, the ghost in the mud. If other types of mines are still hovering around waiting to get painted by sensors, the Mayhem opts to sleep buried right in the mud and sand on the sea floor. It lays dead silent, relying on acoustic and water pressure sensors to stalk its prey. The second a supertanker passes overhead, it cooks off, utilizing a massive water column to snap the ship's keel straight from underneath. Insanely hard to sweep and absolutely lethal. The EM-52 Sizzler, the absolute worst nightmare for any ship captain. The EM-52 sets up an ambush way down on the seafloor and shoots up like a rocket when a target passes overhead. It strikes right at the keel where no amount of armor can save you. It is exactly like burying an IED right under a tank's belly, rendering the thickest steel plating completely useless. Drifting and limpet mines. Sometimes Iran just cuts mines loose to drift freely with the ocean currents to spread massive psychological chaos. On top of that, their frogmen will sneak in under the cover of darkness to slap magnetic limpet mines right onto the hull. It is just like waking up to find a time bomb superglued to your car door, forcing the entire maritime shipping world to hold its breath every time they push through these waters. Anti-ship cruise missiles, surface killers. The Abu Mahdi is a name that makes every radar officer sweat bullets. It is as smart as a delivery guy who knows all the back alleys, capable of autonomously plotting its flight path to evade defensive networks. Boasting a 1,000-kilometer range and an AI brain, the Abu Mahdi weaves through islands, utilizing coastal terrain masking to approach from completely unexpected blind spots. This is not just a missile, it is a thinking hunter. The Noor, or C-8. 02 is the highly practical trailblazer. With a 170-kilometer range, this localized variant of the C-802 is more than enough to reach out and touch any vessel passing through Hormuz. This serves as the core foundation for Iran's entire modern cruise missile muscle. The Qadr is the extended-reach variant of the Noor. Still rocking the old airframe but packing a larger fuel tank, the Qadr pushes the range out to 200 kilometers. It plays the role of expanding the perimeter, shutting down enemy warships from approaching the coast from way out in the blue water. The Qadr is the absolute boss of this missile family, with a range reaching up to 300 kilometers. The Qadr features massive upgrades to its guidance and anti-jamming capabilities, allowing Iran to not only completely lock down the strait, but also reach out to targets deep inside the Gulf of Oman. Ballistic and hypersonic missiles, guided meteors. Close your eyes and picture a city bus diving down from the edge of space at Mach 13. That is no random meteor. That is the Fatah one, Tehran's hypersonic pride and joy. At that speed, it does not even need a massive explosive payload. The sheer kinetic energy from the impact alone is enough to turn an aircraft carrier into a pile of scrap metal in a split second. This is the kind of weapon that straight up defies all current laws of missile defense. The Khalij Fars is the hot-headed hometown bouncer specifically dialed in for narrow waters. Packing a 300-kilometer range, it is purpose-built to completely lock down Hormuz. Instead of flying a dumb ballistic trajectory, its optical seeker helps it literally lock eyes on warships and dive in at Mach 3. Long gone are the days of laughing at Iran's mock-up missiles. Today, it is a locked and loaded shotgun waiting for trespassers. If the Khalij Fars is guarding the front door, the Zulfikar Basir is the sniper rocking a 700-kilometer reach. Iran does not have to wait for you to pull up to the gate. They can snatch up your fleet right out in the Arabian Sea. Intercepting an object dropping from the stratosphere like this is exactly like trying to hit a bullet with another bullet in the pitch black. When speed is king, armor is just a hood ornament. But if you think you only have to deal with punches coming from the sky, you are dead wrong. Hormuz is also packed with silent, pint-sized invaders that can throw down a suffocating siege through sheer, overwhelming numbers. Unmanned aerial vehicles and suicide drones. The Hornet Swarm. The Shahed family 131, 136, and 238 are the sky mopeds rocking an engine that sounds like a busted dirt bike, but do not let that put-put sound fool you. They have already rendered top-dollar air defense systems over in Ukraine completely useless. Iran churns out these drones like a fast food burger assembly line. Fast, dirt cheap, and in massive enough numbers to completely overwhelm and saturate any radar net. The Arash-2 is an absolute monster, hauling a 260-kilogram warhead, packing enough punch to level a hardened command center in a single heartbeat. Iran's military economics are straight-up ruthless, taking down a $100 million fighter jet with a swarm of $20,000 drones. When hundreds of these Hornets show up in the battle space all at once, sheer quantity becomes a type of quality that you absolutely cannot ignore. But do not just keep your eyes glued to the sky, because the real threat could be sitting right under your props, hiding in the pitch-black depths where sonar cannot even touch them. Subsurface forces, ghosts in the shallow weeds. The Ghadir-class submarine. American nuclear subs are technological marvels, but they are the size of a building and incredibly clunky in the 50-meter deep puddle of Hormuz. That is exactly where the Ghadir-class midget subs step up to the plate. So compact that they can literally sit dead on the sandy bottom, killing their engines to go completely ghost against any active sonar pings, patiently waiting for a target to dump a 533mm torpedo or silently lay a minefield. The Fateh-class submarine is Iran's subsurface shot caller, engineered after decades of researching the shallow water fight. The Fateh can launch the JASC-2 submarine-launched cruise missiles, delivering a totally unpredictable sucker punch. Bringing an Ohio-class boomer into Hormuz is like dropping a great white shark into a kiddie pool. She is powerful, but she is going to get stuck. And Iran? They have a whole school of bloodthirsty piranhas waiting on standby. Below this surface, dead silence is the most terrifying weapon of all. Fast attack, craft, and U.S. versus the ant swarm tactics. IRGCN Fast Attack Craft. This is not a traditional navy, it is a surface street racing gang, with hundreds of boats under 15 meters tearing across the water at over 50 knots, each one strapped with Nazar missiles, rockets, or heavy machine guns. Remember the 2008 incident when they swarmed American warships at point-blank range, a straight-up Wild West shootout scenario. An aircraft carrier can smoke a few of them, but no system can process 50 of these things rushing in all at once from every point on the compass. Iran's unmanned surface vehicle killers pack up to 350 kilograms of high explosives, steered via GPS and live camera feeds to ram straight into the hull. It is exactly like a swarm of hungry mosquitoes attacking an elephant. The elephant does not drop dead immediately, but will go totally insane from thousands of bites. Down in Hormuz, Iran does not win with sheer firepower. They win through absolute chaos and the ability to completely overload the most bleeding-edge sensors. But even without firing a single round, Iran still has ways to turn this strait into a dead zone that no ship captain would ever dare approach. Psychological weapons and insurance. The price of fear. Sometimes the most lethal weapon is not sitting in the armory, but right at the keyboard of an insurance actuary in London. With the SEPR radar system painting targets out to 3,000 kilometers, Iran tracks every single ship all the way out in the Indian Ocean. They do not even need to shoot you down. They just need you to know you are sitting right in the crosshairs. Combining GPS and AIS jamming, they turn those supertankers into blind men out on the water, causing financial risk models to completely flatline. VHF channels and insurance tactics. This is the real kill shot. Iran only needs to broadcast warnings about burning the strait over VHF frequencies or stage a few minor collisions, and instantly the insurance premiums in London will spike to 5% of the ship's total hull value. For a supertanker worth hundreds of millions of bucks, shipping at that point is just a money-burning business. You do not need to use steel to shut down the strait. You just use the numbers on the balance sheet to make transit straight up impossible. Tehran understands perfectly. In the modern world, choking out the wallet is sometimes way more effective than choking out the breath. Hormuz 2026 is no longer about who has more muscle. It is a do-or-die trap that could make the global economy completely crater. Instead of testing the fire, we should be hoping for some good faith peace talks at the table to stabilize oil prices, letting folks everywhere live in peace. Drop your thoughts on this peaceful solution down in the comments. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you can join me in exploring the arsenals of the next nations on the list.